the people have a right to take part in their government. Did you hear that? The people have a right to take part in their government, including through genuine elections to determine who will legitimately occupy government offices. These precepts are embedded in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and in modern constitutions the world over. They capture the foundation for the famous formulation that democratic government is of the people, by the people, and for the people. They always say that it's a, it has become a mantra, if you like, or a cliche, if you also like. In essence, they mean just that. Government belongs to the people. Governmental processes belong to the people. And elections belong to the people. It is that simple, and it's also very complicated, if you ask me. There is no democracy without engagement of citizens. In fact, engagement is thus both a right and a responsibility of citizens and improve the people's lives. Citizens' engagement pursues economic, social, cultural, and political development, including the provision of opportunities, resources, and security, as well as services. For democracy to deliver its dividends, therefore, citizens must become informed about the issues that can improve their lives. I said that much earlier. So democracy is not just about going to vote on election day. It goes beyond that. Democracy is about people going to vote, yes. People asking questions, yes. People engaging their leaders, yes. I mean, constructive engagement, okay? It's also about the people also criticizing when they have to and commending when they have to. But you see, we should not pauperize the people by pretending that we practice democracy, the one that gives okada to the people. Is that democracy really? It's a big question for me. I've been asking myself. I'm told that I'm becoming too agitated about citizens participating in their government. Okay, so become informed so that you can improve your lives. Citizens must also freely join together to express their views and preferences and work to see that government responds to citizens' views, thus holding those in government to account. However, Nigerian citizens have been seen as a docile, unquestioning, and cowed bunch of people who don't know what they want or don't want what they know. The Nigerian citizens are contented with complaints and lamentations about what the government and the political class are not doing, but will never call them to order. Is there something that these citizens don't know? Or what are the missing links? Those are the questions for me today on the program Talking Points on Splash FM here in the city of Ibadan. Let me introduce to you this man. It's called Gbadebo Roots Vivo. It talks about democracy and it says it is about participation. I actually was moderating a conference where he was a speaker. And, it was essentially about young people participating in democracy to strengthen democratic processes and make government work better for the people. This is Gbadebo Roots Vivo, a politician, of course. I remember he contested in the 2019 elections. I think he wanted to go to the Senate in Lagos. It did not happen. Listen to him here. It's still Talking Points on Splash FM.
First, we need to understand democracy as what it's supposed to be, not what we currently understand it as in Nigeria. Democracy, as they say, is supposed to be government for the people, by the people. And to have this system, you basically give up certain rights in exchange for the greater good. So you are bound by certain laws that are made by people that you elect to serve you. Now, we must obey these laws. But the caveat is that the laws are supposed to reflect the will of the people. So when, for instance, the Senate is trying to pass a hate speech bill or a social media bill, we know that that is not necessarily reflecting the will of the people. And then you then revolt or protest or anything like that. Democracy was first spawned by a king called Pericles in Athens, when they had walled Athens and Athens was now fighting Sparta. And they had a situation where they were now dependent on themselves. So for the first time, they realized that, for people to build this city-state now, they have to come together as a community. It can no more just be a king giving orders. They have to come together as a community. Now, to do that, they now decided that virtue is not equal to status. That means that as long as you're an educated male, unfortunately, then you could come into a National Assembly and address the National Assembly and vote. And at some point, there were 5,000 to 6,000 regular attendees that were coming to this assembly and were debating on several issues that governed the entire state. And in that sense, Athens then became this huge force. Pericles was quoted as saying, "Our ordinary citizens are fair judges on public matters. And unlike nations, we regard the citizen who does not take part in these duties as useless." Now, I need to highlight that. The idea of democracy implies that the citizens are actively involved, and if the citizen is not actively involved, they are considered as useless by the society. Plato also went on to say, one of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. This does not necessarily mean that you are running for office. It just means that you are voting. Now, the person that is voting with the sense and conscience will not necessarily vote for someone that he thinks is silly or does not have the capacity that he at least has. So, by not participating, there is a potential that you'll be governed by your inferiors. The bigger push here is understanding that if you choose not to participate in elections, you are creating a feedback mechanism between you and the politician. The politician is looking at you and saying, the citizen is not interested in what is going on with the politics. That means I am not accountable to the citizen. So it's very unfortunate that they will make laws and they start complaining later on when they will look at the election numbers and see 60-70% of these people stayed in their house. Then there's also the feedback mechanism where you are not putting people of capacity into offices because you are staying at home and you're not participating in politics. If you now look and understand that democracy, the core idea of it is that you don't have to be a big man for your voice to be heard. You have a vote, you can rally people around, they can vote for a person, you can vote for someone that has the same ideals or similar ideals as yourself, and these people can go in and be pushed to do what you want them to do, or at least give your voice a louder impression on the public scene.
Splash FM 105.5.
Bọ́ọ̀ni o, ọ̀gá kẹ́míìsì, ẹ fún mi ní M&B paracetamol.
Only?
Èyí ṣe pupa. Pálí M&B paracetamol ní òǹtẹ̀ gàràgbà lára tí wọ́n kọ 70 ọdún sí. Èyí ló jẹ́ kí M&B paracetamol jẹ́ ojúlówó oògùn tí dojú ìjà kọ ẹ̀fọ́rí àtara ríro. Àwọn funfun ni wọ́n fi kọ M&B paracetamol sí orí sáṣẹ̀tì pupa tí ń bẹ náà rẹ̀.
Dúró kó o ṣàyẹ̀wò fínífíní o, kó o rí i dájú wípé M&B paracetamol aláwọ̀ pupa ni wọ́n fún ọ. Ilé-iṣẹ́ May&B Nigeria PLC tí ń ṣe ojúlówó oògùn ní í ṣe M&B paracetamol. M&B paracetamol, ìrora ò lè dá ọ dúró.
Tí ìrora kò bá lọ lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ méjì, rí dókítà.
Indomie welcomes you back to school. Have a session filled with lots of fun and excitement. Stay safe, stay healthy. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Hey you! Yes, you listening to this ad. Think of what you can quickly do with #1 million right now. Quite a number of things, right? But do you know that you can easily win #1 million by opening a savings account, create an at-ease wallet with Stanbic IBTC Bank or Fund Services platform, or visit any of our branches to open an account and fund it with a minimum of 5,000 naira to stand a chance to win 100,000 naira in the monthly draw of the grand prize of 1 million naira. Promo is open to new and existing customers and runs till Monday, 29 November 2021. Terms and conditions apply. Stanbic IBTC. It can be.
Ẹ̀yin tèmi láti ti jásíbù owó ti di rọrùn fún gbogbo èèyàn báyìí. bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o gbogbo èèyàn ni olúborí nínú ìpolongo àjọ̀dún airtel recharge and blow. ìwọ kàn rọwọ́ ìpè dójú àmì lọ́sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ láti jẹ 100 mílíọ̀nù náírà pẹ̀lú òjìlénígba àti 10 mẹ́gábáìtì àti 20 àtẹ̀jíṣẹ́ lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́. bó o bá ṣe rọwọ́ ìpè tó bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ṣe jẹ tó. fún àlàyé síwájú sí testa 444*4#. ìpolongo yìí ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ báyìí títí di ọjọ́ 21 oṣù kejìlá ọdún yìí.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Babe, that girl must be using something.
Hey, Berry, what kind of something?
You to see how she's always smiling, displaying her 32.
You're Coco right. I know her secrets. I know what she's using. She uses it twice a day.
Tell me her secrets.
I'll give you a hint. ABZ.
ABZ?
Yes, ABZ is the secret. Close-Up contains antibacterial zinc, ABZ, which gives you 3 times more freshness and 3 times more protection. Better than your regular toothpaste. Now you know the ABZ secret.
The new Close-Up is her secret. Everybody must hear.
You can't keep a secret.
New Close-Up with antibacterial zinc. Triple the freshness, triple the protection.
Building on the successful completion of our first session with attendance testimony of our professional handling of the classes, we invite interested applicants to enroll for the next stream at the Splash FM Media Academy, an arm of the West Midlands Communications Limited. Our mandate to restore professional excellence in the broadcast industry is still on course, and that's why we invite you to hurry up and enroll now for full-time and part-time intensive practical lectures in presentation, journalism, programs and content development, basic production and digital media, presentation in Yoruba, and so on, leading to the award of Certificate of Proficiency in Broadcast Journalism. Course duration is 6 weeks of intensive practical classes plus interactive practical mentorship sessions with veterans and industrial placement. To register, visit the Splash FM Media Academy beside White House, Felele, Ibadan.
Summer comics for scratch throat. Comics get dextromethorphan and guanfacine. Just here, drink and get relief from cough. Idekulele to drink.
Are they relieved now? I love comics.
Now, Orange Trust Limited, they distribute comics. Products you make you drowsy. If symptoms never stop after 3 days, make you waka go see your doctor. Comics. Idekulele.
Ẹ̀lẹ́ màdàmú, ẹ dákun ṣé POS machine yìí ṣiṣẹ́ mo fẹ́ gba owó díẹ̀.
Ó yẹ ẹ mú káàdì yín wá. Kí ló wá ṣe POS machine yìí nítorí Ọlọ́run? Àwọn kọ́sọ́mọ̀ ló fi à ń bọ̀ yìí.
Màdàmú sì ò sí nǹkan o.
Ọ̀nkú kò sí nǹkan kan. Nẹ́tíwọ̀kì yìí ń ṣe dákúndájí látàárọ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n ẹ má wọrí, yóò ṣiṣẹ́ láìpẹ́.
Ayẹ́gbẹ́ kì í ṣe Mama ATM POS machine lẹ́ ń lò nù.
Èwo tún ni Mama ATM?
Àti StarTime níṣẹ́jú àyà pẹ̀lú Mama ATM POS. Ra research card sórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ rẹ kó sì tún wo balance owó tó ní lápàṣọ àwọn ilé ìfowópamọ́ tó bá ń lò. Ìgbà ọ̀tún dé pẹ̀lú Mama ATM POS. Ọ̀gá gbogbo àwọn POS ló dé yìí o.
Bó ni mo ṣe wá fẹ́ kàn sí àwọn Mama ATM?
Tó o bá ní ṣọ́ọ̀bù tó sì fẹ́ fi Mama ATM POS wò. Kàn sí ọ́fíìsì Mama ATM ní nọ́mbà 6A Ọláníyàn Fágbèmí Street, Ìyáganku, Offering Road, Ìbàdàn. Olú ilé-iṣẹ́ wọn wà ní Suite 18 Aláùsá Shopping Mall, Ìkẹjà nílùú Èkó. 0809-950-0554 0809-950-0554 Mama ATM POS. Gba owó pẹ̀lú ìrọ̀rùn.
Kíni kan wà tí gbogbo obìnrin máa ń ní tí wọ́n bá ti di abiyamọ. Tí ọmọ tí ẹbí rẹ̀ bá nírora torí bá ń fọ́ wọn. Ṣé bí ìjáfara léwu? Abiyamọ kì í fi ìgbà ìrora falẹ̀. Pẹ̀lú M&B paracetamol tó yára pa. Tẹ́kì ìgbàlọ́kábọ̀. Oníkóró fún àgbàlagbà àti olómi tó ládùn ọ̀pọ̀ òyìnbó fún àwọn ọmọdé. Yóò lé ẹ̀fọ́rí àti ara ríro jìnnà sí ẹbí rẹ̀. M&B kàti ń perégedé ó lé ní 70 ọdún. Òun ni àwọn obìnrin tó rí núròde fi ọkàn tán. Fún ẹ̀fọ́rí àti ìrora ní ìwé alọ́ rámirámi làárí pupa. Ìyẹn M&B paracetamol. Tí ìrora kò bá lọ lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ méjì, rí dókítà rẹ̀. M&B paracetamol. Ìrora kò lè dá ọ dúró.
Many people just wonder how my toilet does to stay clean. How my toilet know they get germs. Number secret to my healthy family relieving. How I have to clean so. Please don't toilet clean. I'm not today, make it just no say. Please don't toilet clean so. Kills 99.9%.
Prince All Toilet Cleaners. Small change, big difference for a healthy family.
Splash FM 105.5.
Still talking points on Splash FM here in the city of Ibadan. You heard Gbadebo there, Rhodes Vivo, they're talking about democracy, or saying that it's about participation. And he said in those days, they considered you useless if you did not participate. And he said that you are not putting people in capacity into office. So whatever thing that comes from your practice of democracy, and it shows that this is the language. They say garbage in, garbage out. So you essentially get what you give. Essentially. So I have with me here Olusegun Elemo, is Executive Director, Paradigm Leadership Support Initiative. Shegun, welcome to Talking Points today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so we're talking democracy, really. We've been talking about it since last week. And I was saying that intermittently we'll be talking about how to deepen our democracy, particularly in Nigeria. This is how I'd like to start the conversation. I played Gbadebo Rose Vivo earlier. Gbadebo Rose Vivo said that citizens were considered useless if they refused to participate in democracy in the Greco-Roman times. Now you have democracy in our modern world. Will you also consider the fact that Nigerians who are always referred to as docile, would you say that it's because of lack of participation that we have stunted development in our system in Nigeria?
Well, I don't think it's lack of participation. Well, we used to have this discussion as to whether Nigerians are docile or not. But I think docility itself is the function of many factors. And just before we go into the details of this conversation, I would like to also use this opportunity to call on the governor of Oyo State, Engineer Seyi Makinde, to say you should take a look at the infrastructure of the state, particularly in the Ibadan metropolis. You can see everything is breaking down. The roads are tearing apart and everything, and everywhere is practically unmotorable. So it's just to use this medium to also call on the governor to see how he can quickly intervene on this area of infrastructure, particularly the roads. So in taking up our discussion, I don't think that what we have today is as a result of lack of participation. Like I said, docility itself is a function of many factors. And prior to this time, we could say low-level participation, not because Nigerians are docile living, but we could say, like I said, when you look at the level of poverty, illiteracy, and all of that, so that could, mean that there would be, less participation. But given, the necessary environment, I know that Nigerians, love to participate in governance, and we saw it, last year, October, when people came out. It appeared that people had been bottling a lot of issues, and they were looking for opportunity to let those issues out. And for the first time in the history of this country, I think the ruling class, came to the realization that, we have, something more than a keg of gunpowder in our hands, and we need to be careful about it.
All right, so thank you very much for that, Shegun. I'd like to make this statement to you. If you consider the slow pace of development in the country, experts, some authors, some researchers have said that a country that is that doesn't have most of the citizens participating in democracy in terms of engagement, those countries usually suffer low level or slow pace of development. Would you agree with this statement?
Well, yes, in one sense it is. Education itself is the core ingredient of development. So when you don't participate to a certain degree, you will not be able to, citizens will not be able to play, the needed oversight on those who have been entrusted with power. And so in that regard, it is then that citizens participate and be the watchdog themselves, rather than relying on accountability institutions in the democracy. Why those institutions, will do their work as prescribed in the Constitution, but citizens themselves need to be aware, and they need to get involved and participate and ensure that they ask the right questions and get the right answers to many of the questions that they ask. And those are the things that we put, the leaders, on the spot and ensure that they continue to do the right thing. Without which, that participation or sufficient participation, that leaders would naturally assume that whatever policies they make, whatever programs they implement, what the people need. But in most cases, we've seen that that's not always the case. So, and that's why I am also of the opinion that citizens need to participate, and that increased participation, will catalyze development, and that's just normal. Yes, in a case like Nigeria, you could say that low level of participation may have be responsible, for this underdevelopment that we have experienced, or whatever you call it. And this participation we are talking about now is in various degrees. It comes in many forms. For instance, we are talking about participation in terms of voting. We are talking about participation in post-election cycle. We are talking about participation, in different forms. So I think that you're right with that statement that increased participation certainly is a core ingredient for development, and I agree with that.
All right, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili made a statement some time ago. I was in a conference where she was speaker. She said that you cannot be in a democracy and feel disempowered. And that's precisely the language or the expression that sums up the Nigerian person. Whenever you talk about people asking for accountability, people, asking for rights and development, that we usually call them dividends of democracy, people usually say, there's nothing we can do. And then that is all. So we have this attitude of just giving up at the end of the day. So what are the things that citizens can do in very civil ways to make government really respond to demands of the people?
Well, I think that basically is to is to understand how governance work, and that for citizens to be able to do anything in a democracy, there must be sufficient information. Information on policies of government, information on programs of government and the projects that government implement. But the reason it appears that citizens are incapacitated and sometimes give up is because there is no the information to hold those who are entrusted with power accountable is not readily available, and that's not the truth. That's not the truth. Or sometimes it is available in a complex form that the ordinary Nigerian cannot understand. Now you will say, what is it by a complex form? If you don't, it is now that we are just beginning to talk about participatory budget. It is now we haven't even gotten to a point where citizens are participating in the audit process of public finance. Those are areas. For instance, public procurement. What is the level of citizen participation? And you can say that citizens are not coming forward, but is the government going to them? I think those are some of the issues that we really need to deal with. When citizens are not, forthcoming, you need to have a government and leaders who are forward-looking and who are interested in improving participation and ensuring that the most vulnerable, the marginalized people, those that you think that they shouldn't even get involved, are the ones that you bring on board and you get their views into your policies, into your programs, into all of that. And when you formulate those policies, when you implement those programs, you need to then, go back to them and at least, express some level of accountability, in how you have utilized resources, in how you are, how the progress for some of those programs or policies are ongoing. But in a case like Nigeria, whether at national or subnational, you realize that once government, formulates the budget or, formulates policy or, enacts the budget or whatever, they begin to implement it. And before you know it, they finish implementing and they don't even consult with citizens any longer. Even the one they do with the stakeholders' engagement around the budgeting process, whether at national, it appears as box-ticking approach, not necessarily that they want to take citizens and they want to bring citizens on board. So I think those are the, that is what the Open Government Partnership, program hasn't achieved, much in terms of objectives. So, but I think that our leaders need to do better. Yes, what we are calling on citizens to get more involved in the process, in the democratic process. If our leaders need to show the way and apply, ways by which citizens can get involved and ensure that the involvement, is made less complex and more participation.
You see, you talked about the government being forthcoming and drawing the people close or into the process. But you see, in this part of the world, particularly in Africa, it looks like it is increasingly becoming difficult for the governments to feel that they owe the citizens any explanation. What exactly is it about Africa and democracy, really?
Well, I think it's still this sense of lack of accountability, this very huge sense of corruption, and the need to maintain opacity. Because really, there won't be corruption if there wasn't opacity. If government finances are open and understandable to the ordinary person on the street, I don't think we'll have very high corruption. And one can say that what do you mean by corruption? The corruption perception index is there, to refer to when Nigeria, even in the last 2 years, Nigeria has been dropping points. On the CPI index. So I think that the need to maintain opacity is why, our leaders, whether in Nigeria or across the continent, refuse to involve citizens in the process. And, it appears that once citizens start to get involved and get a hold of information to hold them accountable, they become very uncomfortable. And I don't think democracy itself built on that. I have not seen any democratic government in the world where there is no element of corruption. But where corruption is emphasized, then you cannot find development, and then definitely citizens will be shut out of the process because that's how corruption, that's how the industry can be self-sufficient.
All right.
So, but in a situation where citizens, where there is no opacity, where there is no urge for corruption, then there will be no opacity, and citizens can have the needed information to hold government accountable. I think these are some of the core elements of democracy.
Okay, so my takeaway from this conversation, really, from the citizen's perspective, is understanding of how governance works. And post-election participation, those two elements, we will continue to talk about them. We'll most certainly talk about them in subsequent editions of the program. Olusegun Elemo, Executive Director, Paradigm Leadership Support Initiative. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you to all of you.
All right, still talking points on Splash FM here in the city of Ibadan. I just spoke there with Olusegun Elemo, and you understand some of these things. We'll open the phone lines in a moment and then get you to talk to us. But before we open the phone lines, there are issues that are, just the issues that have been raised. And Shagun was talking about, was saying that there must be information about policies and programs of government. Okay, and then the information must be available in a way that people will understand them. But you see, there is so much of complexity in the way information is placed by governments. And you understand the whole principle behind open government partnership. It is about openness and accountability and cooperation. For instance, the SDGs, goal number 17, talks about partnerships. And you understand that you cannot evolve a developed country without the partnership of the media. As a matter of fact, the media are said to be the fulcrum upon which you have a rolling, moving, springing democracy. But how are the media practitioners treated in this country? That's the next question that I want to bring to the table, and I'm going to ask Goke to intervene in this matter. It's still talking points on Splash FM here in the city of Ibadan. It's in the report today. most of the time when journalists, question those who are in government or in authority, it's basically about why don't you just get out, or the information you are looking for is not available, or you invite someone to give account to the people, and then it becomes very difficult. I have a question here. Let me read this story to you. Police brutality. Yaganku DPO, CSP, Akintunde Oyeniran batters Jams FM GM, Donti in Ibadan. Okay, the story is in here. The general manager of Jams 100.1 FM Ibadan, Mr. Tony Awobode, was on Sunday beaten to stupor by the divisional police officer, DPO of Yaganku Police Station, CSP Akintunde Oyeniran, and his men from the Yaganku Police Station. Awobode was popularly known as and addressed as Donti, suffered the harassment and assault and humiliation from the supposed security operatives along Leshinloye Junction on the fateful day. The story goes on and on and on. It's a developing story. We will come to this story much later. But then, how do you react to the fact that citizens need information? The journalists or the media are there to provide the information, to process the information, give to the people in a way that people will understand, and then be able to make decisions on how to participate in government.
Like Elemo said, we have an issue of information, communication. The government don't want to share the right information for the people. It's of course is what you know that you come to query. And you see, the people need to see that journalists, we are working for them. We are their servants. Whatsoever thing that they want us to do, we do. We question politicians. But of course, people are power drunk. Because that's the story of the police officer. See, numerous stories about police officers that would do and undo. A particular guy was taken from Jericho, also taken to Akpata division. They took his phone. They told him, "We are going to allege that you do this and this and this and this." And they took the phone. He was not able to contact the family. Numerous. All of these things happen day by day. But this is coming out because Donti is affected now. I'm not safe, Michael. Life is cheap in Nigeria. I'm afraid to take the bike because anything can happen. And of course, people are hostile to journalists because they think we are their enemy. We need to tell them that we work for you. I think the commissioner of police should come. In fact, if it's possible for them to report to that radio station and apologize. We cannot continue to have this. For Christ's sake, last year it was easy because people went on rampage against them. People were going around beating police officers, killing them. We came back here. We were saying it on this table that, no, that is not the right thing to do. I remember a lot of times I was saying that what is going on in the Southeast is not the right thing. The police are your friend. But the same police that is my friend is not acting as one. What should have happened? What should have caused you beating a journalist, a media personality? So if the guy is just a normal guy, the story will just go like that. But of course, the police should pay. This particular guy should pay for it. They
have to apologize,
They
right?
should apologize. In fact, if it's possible for us to have media, you see, we should talk about things like this. Life is cheap in Nigeria, and I'm scared. I don't have a I don't have a family of my own yet. I don't want my children to witness all of this. I don't want my children to just stay at home and that is not safe. How are we going to continue like this? People are power drunk, and I'm calling out the police. The police under the the police under the commissioner of police, Mrs. Onedeko. I'm calling them out. They should come out and apologize.
All right. It's still Talking Points on Splash FM on Facebook. Before we go on this commercial, Conde Micheal Olatunbosun says here, in as much as we all desire to participate in good democracy, the society and country we find ourselves as polluted, our mind, may God help us. Thank you very much. Michael Victor, thank you for joining us on Facebook. Joy Temitope, thank you very much for joining us. And Akonde Micheal Olatunbosun again. Okay, thank you very much for that. Commercial break.
Take comics, just here, drink, and get relief. Yes, so Sana comics for scratch throat. Comics get dextromethorphan and guanfacine. Just here, drink and get relief from cough. Idekulele to drink.
Are they relieved now? I love comics.
Now, only Drugs Limited they distribute comics. Products you make you drowsy. If symptoms never stop after 3 days, make you waka go see your doctor. Comics, Idekulele.
ẹ̀yin tèmi láti jásíbù owó ti di rọrùn rọrùn fún gbogbo èèyàn báyìí. bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o gbogbo èèyàn ni olúborí nínú ìpolongo àjọ̀dún airtel recharge and blow. ìwọ kàn rọwọ́ ìpè dójú àmì lọ́sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ láti jẹ ọgọ́rùn-ún mílíọ̀nù náírà pẹ̀lú òjìlénígba àti mẹ́wàá mẹ́gábáìtì àti ogún àtẹ̀jíṣẹ́ lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́. bó o bá ṣe rọwọ́ ìpè tó bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ṣe jẹ tó. fún àlàyé síwájú sí testa 444*4#. ìpolongo yìí ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ báyìí títí di ọjọ́ 21 oṣù kejìlá ọdún yìí.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Tolú báwo ni ìrìn àjò ẹ̀? Ilẹ̀ Haúsá dùn. Ó jẹ́ oúnjẹ kan tó ń pè ní dambu ṣèkàfà níbẹ̀. Ọ̀rẹ́, adùn àti tasọ́sàn ẹ̀ lárinrin.
Oúnjẹ ti délẹ̀ o.
Láìdé, oúnjẹ yẹn náà ló ṣe. Ó tún dùn jù yẹn lọ. Báwo ló ṣe sè é? Ìsebẹ̀ ọ̀ngà. Òun ni ìsebẹ̀ tó nílò fádùn àti tasọ́sàn tó lélẹ̀. Dùn àwọn tó fẹ́ràn nínú pẹ̀lú oúnjẹ aládùn nínú ilé rẹ̀.
Onga, Mama's helping hand.
Bode, now what you dey find for kitchen?
My dear, na so to drink off medicine.
Honey, take comics. Just here, drink and get relief.
Yes, so Sama comics for scratch throat. Comics get dextromethorphan and guanfacine. Just here, drink and get relief from cough. Idekulele to drink.
Are they relieved now? I love comics.
Now, only
mọ̀nàmọ́ná a máa fúnni ní ìbáṣẹ̀ṣe yàn láàyò ojúlówó ni kì í bó lára kò kì í jóná àbáàdì kì í kán sínú ó sì fi ni lọ́kàn balẹ̀ ìdí nìyí tí Standard Organization of Nigeria fi fòun tẹ̀tẹ̀ tí Nigeria Electrical Contractors náà fi dìbò fún bí copper cable ṣe wà ní aluminium cable ń bẹ nípele lówó tí kò gún pa stroke 132 Oṣòdì Àpápá Expressway ìyànà ìsọlọ bus stop Lagos ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wọn ni 080-803-03257 Pure Chem Wires and Cables. Ìrọ̀rùn fi iná mọ̀nàmọ́ná.
Building on the successful completion of our first session with attendance testimony of our professional handling of the classes, we invite interested applicants to enroll for the next stream at the Splash FM Media Academy, an arm of the West Midlands Communications Limited. Our mandate to restore professional excellence in the broadcast industry is still on course, and that's why we invite you to hurry up and enroll now for full-time and part-time intensive practical lectures in presentation, journalism, programs and content development, basic production and digital media, presentation in Yoruba, and so on, leading to the award of Certificate of Proficiency in Broadcast Journalism. Course duration is 6 weeks of intensive practical classes plus interactive practical mentorship sessions with veterans and industrial placement. To register, visit the Splash FM Media Academy beside White House, Felele, Ibadan. For inquiries, call 070-543-93332 or 080-569-98676. On Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, we are at Splash FM Academy.
Welcomes you back to school. Have a session filled with lots of fun and excitement. Stay safe, stay healthy. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Welcome to today's PTA meeting. We have a Kemi, your baby girl just hugged me outside in her girls' brigade uniform. How have you kept hers for years, looking so good and smelling fresh? Abi, did you sew a new one?
New one, Ke. With the plenty money I'm already paying, I just wash it normally.
How does it smell so good?
Oh, I use the new Omo Multi-Active Plus Extra Fresh. It removes tough stains on her uniform, and its long-lasting fragrance keeps the uniform smelling fresh.
Sorry, madam. What did you say the name of that detergent is again?
It's the new Omo Extra Fresh, Joe.
Introducing the all-new Omo Multi-Active Extra Fresh with unique, long-lasting fragrance that keeps your clothes fresh even when in storage.
Milo! Hello! Give me Milo, please. 2 sachets.
Okay, Are you sure you don't want to try something else?
This something else, does it have Active Go?
Active K.
Active Go, that mix of protobolt, minerals, and vitamins.
Proto what?
Look, it's okay. Just give me my Milo because things that I buy for my kids, I don't.
Energy to go further.
kíní kan wà tí gbogbo obìnrin máa ń ní tí wọ́n bá ti di abiyamọ yóò mọ̀ tí ẹbí rẹ̀ bá nírora torí bá ń fọ́ wọn ṣé bí ìjáfara léwu abiyamọ kì í fi ìgbà ìrora falẹ̀ pẹ̀lú M&B paracetamol tó yára pa tí kì í gbalọ̀ kábọ̀ oníkóró fún àgbàlagbà àti olómi tó ládùn ọ̀pọ̀ òyìnbó fún àwọn ọmọdé yóò lé ẹ̀fọ́rí àti ara ríro jìnnà sí ẹbí rẹ̀ M&B kàti ń perégedé ó lé ní 70 ọdún òun ni àwọn obìnrin tó rínú ròde fi ọkàn tán fún ẹ̀fọ́rí àti ìrora ní ìwé alọ́ rámirámi làárí pupa ìyẹn M&B paracetamol tí ìrora kò bá lọ lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ méjì rí dókítà rẹ̀ M&B paracetamol ìrora kò lè dá ọ dúró.
ìyá ọlọ́gbọ́n èwo lẹ̀ ń ṣe.
Mo ń ṣe oúnjẹ òwúrọ̀ pẹ̀lú mílìkì ìdàgbàsókè PIC 456.
oúnjẹ òwúrọ̀ pẹ̀lú mílìkì ìdàgbàsókè PIC 456 kẹ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ó ní àlékún DHA èyí tó ń ṣe àtìlẹ́yìn ìdàgbàsókè ọpọlọ tó jí pépé. Bákan náà ló tún ní káṣíọ̀mù, fítámìn D àti onígá ńlá protein láti mú àwọn ọmọ rẹ dàgbà kí wọ́n sì lágbára.
mo fẹ́ràn ẹ̀. màá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní fi mílìkì ìdàgbàsókè PIC 456 tó ní àlékún DHA èyí tó ń ṣàtìlẹ́yìn ìdàgbàsókè ọpọlọ tó jí pépé fi kún àwọn èròjà ìṣaralóore fún àwọn ọmọ mi.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
dàgbà kó lágbára kó sì jáfáfá pẹ̀lú mílíkì ìdàgbàsókè PIC 456 lójoojúmọ́.
ẹ̀yin tèmi láti jásíbù owó ti di rọrùn fún gbogbo èèyàn báyìí. bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o gbogbo èèyàn ni olúborí nínú ìpolongo àjọ̀dún airtel recharge and blow. ìwọ kàn rọwọ́ ìpè dójú àmì lọ́sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ láti jẹ 100 mílíọ̀nù náírà pẹ̀lú òjìlénígba àti 10 mẹ́gábáìtì àti 20 àtẹ̀jíṣẹ́ lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́. bó o bá ṣe rọwọ́ ìpè tó bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ṣe jẹ tó. fún àlàyé síwájú sí testa 444*4#. ìpolongo yìí ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ báyìí títí di ọjọ́ 21 oṣù kejìlá ọdún yìí.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
ìyá ọlọ́gbọ́n èwo lẹ̀ ń ṣe.
Mo ń ṣe oúnjẹ òwúrọ̀ pẹ̀lú mílìkì ìdàgbàsókè PIC 456.
oúnjẹ òwúrọ̀ pẹ̀lú mílìkì ìdàgbàsókè PIC 456 kẹ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ó ní àlékún DHA èyí tó ń ṣe àtìlẹ́yìn ìdàgbàsókè ọpọlọ tó jí pépé. Bákan náà ló tún ní káṣíọ̀mù, fítámìn D àti onígá ńlá protein láti mú àwọn ọmọ rẹ dàgbà kí wọ́n sì lágbára.
mo fẹ́ràn ẹ̀. màá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní fi mílìkì ìdàgbàsókè PIC 456 tó ní àlékún DHA èyí tó ń ṣàtìlẹ́yìn ìdàgbàsókè ọpọlọ tó jí pépé fi kún àwọn èròjà ìṣaralóore fún àwọn ọmọ mi.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
dàgbà kó lágbára kó sì jáfáfá pẹ̀lú mílíkì ìdàgbàsókè PIC 456 lójoojúmọ́.
Splash FM 105.5.
All right, you're welcome back. 0809-155-1055, 0805-699-8678, and 07069493000. It's Splash FM 105.5. The program is Talking Points on Splash FM. Caller here beckons. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
My name is Mr.
Abodun, let's talk, sir.
I want to accept or agree with you with what you said in theory. But in practice, it's not like that. It's not as if many of us are not interested in participating. But look at what is happening in the various parties. You know, at the national level, the PDP has problems. At the state level, it has. APC also has problems at the state and the national level. So even when you have an idea and you want to sell it, where do you go to do that?
There are other political parties. And that's democracy. We practice multi-party democracy.
Mike, let us be sincere.
What?
The two parties we recognize in Nigeria are APC and PDP. How do you call a party of less than 100 people? Less than 100 people a party? Which party?
You cannot be sure. You don't know. You don't know the parties, do you? You don't know all of them.
Oh, Mike, don't let us deceive ourselves.
Right,
we know that there are parties by name.
Thank you very much, Mr. S.B. Aboduni. One more call before we go. Okay. So my studio manager is saying we have to wrap up. Okay. Goki, in 10 seconds, let's wrap up now.
We have to go. You see.
go to Splash FM 105.5 Ibadan on Facebook. So let's continue this agitation to make our democracy better, because it is the only tool that can make development happen, and speedily too. My name is Micheal Olatunbosun. I'd like to ask you to do everything within your power to make this nation better. Remember, after now, about the news update at 4 o'clock, and after that, game on Splash FM 105.5.
From the top of the Fisher Building, this is Detroit's #1 hit music station.
Splash 105.5 FM, your integrity station.
ṣe ń ṣe wá o bàbá ayé dùn àbámọ̀ àbá ti wá mo láyé dùn àbámọ̀. ọ̀dọ̀ yìí ó là ń bọ̀ wá ṣe gbọ́ àgbà ọlọ́gbọ́n ó tó mòye àsìkò ọ̀rọ̀ ológun ó ti wá ń dàwí sunkún ọ̀jẹ̀lú ń pọ̀ sí olókìtọ́ ṣọ̀wọ́n o.